With St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, we are getting festive with the help of Celtic folk band from Scotland. They're going to be performing for us live in studio this morning. We've already seen what the band looks like. They're going to be performing at Loving Cup tonight and tomorrow. Very exciting stuff that we get a preview before the public performance.
Yeah. Good stuff this morning. Before all of that, we will start things out with a quick check of the forecast. We are expecting warmer temperatures again today, Marty. It's killing me that we're stuck inside right now. I just want to be out there.
And at least there's going to be that opportunity to get outside during the day. We're going to keep at least some sunshine around, likely a couple extra clouds. But here's that look so you can at least see outside. Kind of tempting there. You can see that sunshine working in. A couple clouds in the background. But again, the best part of the news is we're off to a very mild start. You have to keep in mind the average high this time of year is in the very lower 40s. We're sitting at 48 right now. We'll just continue to gain on that number throughout the day today. And that'll put us up to within a few degrees of 60 for a high. That'll happen a little bit earlier in the day than average day. We're going to be somewhere around 60 right around noon, and then we're going to drop off a little bit. But even as numbers drop, still staying above average. Pretty significant drop into tonight, just back to about average. We'll be in the 20s for lows, but just be ready for that. It's going to be a big change compared to what we have seen the past couple nights, but back to about where we normally see our lows this time of year. Then 38 tomorrow, 40s Thursday, and then back into the 60s again by Friday, Saturday, and into next week. But at least just a brief cool down into tomorrow, and then we start that nice little upward trend in temperatures again, right when it counts, going into Friday and even closer to the upcoming weekend.
You know what's kind of crazy is the dip we take tonight, the lack of a jump we make tomorrow into Thursday and then Friday back to 65. We're really getting a taste of all four seasons over the next 48 hours.
Weather whiplash.
Very much so. Yeah, it's just that very typical type of March where you get those seasons just battling it out. Of course, last month, you're just kind of stuck in winter, but this is when, as we all know, we start to get a little more hope and can get some of those little pushes of warmer weather working in. And we're going to see that a couple times this week.
Yeah.
We say typical, but I feel like I block the forecast out from the month of March, like late February throughout the month of March, because I'm just sick of winter by that point, so I can't recall what last March was like.
Yeah, just remember the high points.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. That's good.
And make a little mental note for next year at this time, that March might not be so
as bad as I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that on a calendar.
Okay.
I like that.
Get that on a pillow for me.
All right, Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
Sure.
All right, let's get to Off the Top now, where we chat about some of the stories that have piqued our interest. Daniel.
Yes. Going to start things out with some really jaw-dropping video. Want you to take a look at this at home, making lots of headlines across the country, and there's some serious questions that need to be asked. This is all about sportsmanship and what really happened on the track field. So take a look at this. Okay, so right here you are looking at a high school race, a track meet, and you see one of the players there.
Wow.
Yeah, appear to get hit on the head repeatedly with another runner's baton. Now, the player that was hit is Kaylin Tucker. She is a Brookville High School junior. The other runner, Alea Everett, is an IC Norcom High School senior. Now, these two runners were in this race, and as Kaylin went to round that curve and overtake Alea, it appears that Alea took her baton and hit the other runner several times over the head. Now, there's question as to whether or not that is the case, because one of the runners says that's not what happened and feels like she's taking the brunt of the blame for all of this. We have some sound. Ashley, what sound can we cue up first so I can set it up? We can do either one. Okay, let's hear from the runner who was hit, if you don't mind.
I was so in disbelief. I didn't even know. I didn't know what happened. I just got hit in the head and I just fell off the track.
The 16-year-old was later diagnosed with a concussion. The family says neither the athlete who struck Kaylin nor the other team's coaches checked on Kaylin or reached out afterwards.
Wow.
Okay, so nobody reached out. Nobody checked in on her. Apparently, the other runner's parents reached out to make sure she was okay. She just returned to school yesterday. She was out for nearly a week. This is what the other runner is now saying.
I know my intentions and I would never hit somebody on purpose. They're going off of one angle. After a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video. Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? I know my intentions.
Okay, so you were there. She said her baton got stuck, and when she went to try and get it, that's what happened. She ended up inadvertently, she says, hitting the other runner on the head, and that we're going off of just one angle of the incident. Now, if you hear the crowd at this track meet, if you hear the announcers at this track meet, it's pretty clear what happened. It sounds like it sounds like an excuse for very poor behavior, illegal behavior, assault. So it really is, I was on social media, I was looking at some of the comments and I wanted to bring those in, and then I thought, no, because it's all over the place. But one is saying that her mental and emotional health is being damaged by this, and the other was concussed and out of school for 5 days. You be the judge. You look at that video and tell me what you see. Because I know what I see.
Did she stop and help
She did not.
the other girl? Okay,
She did not stop, did not help the other girl, kept running. She nor the coach checked on the girl. She nor the coach have apologized to the girl.
Okay. Well.
Don't want to get into the accusations of it all, so that's why I'm letting you this morning be the judge and jury in this one.
I don't want to be the
No,
judge
I'm
and
not,
jury.
not you, not you. Because listen, I know I look at that video and I see one thing. I know you look at that video and probably see something. I know you at home are looking at the video and are seeing something too, so you decide.
This was the track event that I ran. Those batons are heavy. Like, I mean, not super heavy, but I mean, it could do some significant damage. I mean, she's got a concussion.
There may be a skull fracture as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
this is high school?
This is high school. High school.
Yeah.
High school.
Championship, or was this just a high school track meet?
Just a track meet.
Wow. Okay.
And listen, that's all I've got to say about it, because I don't want to share my opinion.
Okay. All right.
I want to hear yours.
News at 13.
News at 13wham.com. Let us know what you see in that video.
Woof. All right, we'll move on to mine now, because
is yours lighter?
Move on a little bit,
okay.
I guess. All right, so you know how everybody has an opinion and everybody's got feelings on things, and everybody feels the need to share those online. Today we're going to talk about somebody who's gained a lot of negative attention online as well as in the public eye. Of course, somebody that has gained a lot of attention in the recent years. We're talking about the Duchess of Sussex, the woman formerly known as Meghan Markle, who is now going by Meghan Sussex. She debuted her new Netflix show called With Love, Meghan a few weeks ago, and the feedback has not been excellent. So you're getting a look here at some of the snippets from it. According to Forbes magazine, they did a review of Meghan's new show, With Love, Meghan. It drew in 526,000 households. That's according to data gathered by Samba TV, which is a tech company that measures audience data. So in comparison, a couple years back, Prince Harry and Meghan came out with a show through Netflix called Harry and Meghan. This drew barely a quarter of the viewership that did. that show reached 2.1 million households. So not doing great. A 33% for Rotten Tomatoes and a 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Put that into perspective. So some of the issues that people have with the show revolve around relatability, right? These are trying times. Let's be real. Things are not great for most people, I would say.
No.
So, in a USA Today article, they discuss how Meghan and her family are trying to be relatable. They're trying to show that they're just average, everyday people. Well, the show was filmed at a luxury rental property, not at their house, but nearby, kind of used as a set, so to speak, a backdrop into their lives, which is not authentic at all. Also, some of the things that she does during the show, she puts edible flowers in her ice cube tray and serves her ice cubes with edible flowers. She hand assembles organic gift bags full of seeds and herbs for kids' birthday parties, and spends a very long time making a fruit tray for her kids in the shape of a rainbow with yogurt clouds. People on social media...
17 years old.
People on social media don't love this stuff. This person said, I made Meghan Markle's ice recipe. It's every bit as delicious as you'd expect. All the kids had seconds, and it's just an ice cube tray with like a mint leaf in it.
I do like that. That's a good post.
Now, all of that being said, some of the stuff she says is a little silly. When I think of honey, I think of bees, and people are like... What's so
revolutionary.
Okay, so the point is she's getting roasted on Netflix and on social media and stuff like that. Netflix, though, despite some of the ratings, they're like, hey, come back for season 2, baby. Renewed for another one. I do want to say, though, Meghan Sussex, has come out and said that, I'm sorry, that's what she goes by now. She's come out and said that the public criticism and all of that stuff has taken a very big toll on her mental health, even, at times considering ending her life when she was in the public eye with the royal family. And, we all saw the Oprah interview. We all know some of the things that were said. Last week we even discussed the criticism surrounding women in the media with Millie Bobby Brown and the effect that words can have on a person, whether or not you know them, whether or not they're said in person or online. So I think the moral of the story here is if you don't like something, don't take part in it. If you don't want to see Meghan Markle, don't watch the documentary.
Sure.
That's on you. So
absolutely,
I understand the relatability component. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people are struggling to, spend $40 on edible flowers to put in your ice tray.
And she suggested you just go to your local beekeeper to collect wax to make your own candles. Not terribly relatable.
It's not really relatable. And also, I think...
And you can't make your ice cubes with tap water. Has to be bottled.
Has to be bottled water.
From the show. Listen, I get it, and I understand one side of the argument. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I get that. But if it is taking that much of a toll on her mental health, maybe she needs to take a step back from the spotlight. Why are we doing the show if we struggled the last go-around with celebrity and with fame? Why are we doing it again?
And that is something, I just didn't have time to get to it, but I did have it in my notes also. For a while, I think a couple years ago, she and Prince Harry came out and said, we want our privacy. We just want to live a normal life. And then they're coming out with all these Netflix specials and shows, and people are just kind of confused. And they're like, well, you said you wanted to be left alone, and now you're doing this, and you're showing us your kids, and you're doing all this stuff, and then you're like, well, don't talk about us. It's people are saying you can't have both.
Because you can't.
And I'm not picking a side. I'm simply sharing the criticism and stuff I've heard online.
Yeah. It's interesting. Again, if you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, don't.
Yeah.
It's that simple. That simple, folks.
Same with our show, too.
Same with our show.
If you want to watch it.
No, with our show, watch it. Just watch it. Hey, stick around. We've got a lot more to come. We are checking back in with Chris Lopez, who is live from Rohrbach Brewing this morning as they get ready for St. Patrick's Day.
The second best holiday of them all. Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. Stream us live right now on the 13 WHIM YouTube channel. We're back after this.
St. Patrick's Day is next week, but Chris Lopez didn't want to wait that long to get into the Irish spirit.
Yeah, he'll be live throughout the week playing Irish sports, eating Irish food, and this morning he is getting a taste of some Irish water, Irish-style beer.
Yeah.
He's live at Rohrbach Brewing. Actually, what is Irish water? That's Jameson, I think. But Chris, we're talking beer this morning. What are we up to?
Going into more of the brewing process and how they make beers just like the St. Paddy's Day Irish Ale. I am bringing this whole keg back to Channel 13. By the way, I've been lugging it around all morning. I'm gonna give you guys the fruits of my labor. So you guys will get ready to have this. It's been a task, but we can do it. I'm here with Mitch Lagoya this morning. Now, earlier this morning at about 6:30, we're mashing pretty much. That's pretty much step one of the process.
That is step one for sure. So after we mash in, I mean, the brew day takes about 8 hours for about 20 barrels, 600 gallons of beer. But at that point, realistically, we're kickstarting a 10 to 14 day process. So this is one day, but we have plenty of the rest of the brewery basically to, honestly, you ferment the beer, you actually put it into cans, you put it into kegs, and this is literally where all the magic happens.
Yeah, we skipped to step 5 in the last process with the canning there.
We did, we jumped ahead.
And then now we're going into the filtering process, but what's going on to the left over here?
To the left, we have all the maturation tanks. These are the conditioning tanks, the fermenters themselves. We have different sizes, 7, 20, 40, 60 barrels. So honestly, we can brew anywhere between those 7 to 60 barrel increments. We have pilot batches, we have consistent seasonal batches, we have our mainstream beers like Scotch Ale and Space Kitty. But then at the very end of the process, we have to filter the beer. We have to actually take this beer and get it ready for the cans and the kegs.
And that's where we're going to now. Brittany, what's Brittany? Is she a head brewer here?
Brittany's been with us for several years now. She has honestly, she wears a lot of hats. Primary hat here is being our main filtration agent, or sometimes we say yeast wrangler.
That's on your guys' website. I was wondering what that was. Okay, filtration agent. Gotcha.
Sounds very facetious, but basically she's actually taking the beer, she's filtering it, making it shelf stable, removing all the hop tubes, sediment, any protein buildup, and basically making it as bright as possible and as fresh as possible for everyone to enjoy.
What beer is this one that she's filtering?
Our flagship. This is our Scotch Ale, actually.
Scotch Ale. What are the notes on the Scotch Ale? We're going to taste a little bit of it in its essentially filtered form or unfiltered form.
So Scotch Ale is sweet, malty. At the same time, we do throw quite a bit of roasted barley and European hops in it, and this kind of gives it enough balance that it's not too cloying, it's not too sweet, but it's definitely it's perfect beer to pair with foods, especially, not trying to say anything, but corned beef this weekend.
Okay, gotcha. Can we try some of that?
Yeah, let me grab some sample glasses. We're probably going to go right off one of the bright tanks over here.
Okay.
And you'll actually get to enjoy the fresh filtered product.
Who would this be for? This Scotch, yeah, the Scotch Ale. I'm not particularly too much of a fan of ales, but who would this be for, would you say? Anyone?
Yes, I feel like Scotch Ale is right in between. It's an amber color. It's not too hoppy, not too sweet. It is fortified, 6.9, almost 7% alcohol by volume.
Okay.
You wouldn't guess that. But basically, this beer is about 30 to 35% of our total volume right now. It's pretty much been our flagship since 1996. Okay. Let me just grab a bottle.
So I'm going to taste this fresh out of this tank right here, which is absolutely an amazing experience. I know I did it the last time when I was at another brewery, and it tastes so crisp when it's, look at that. You gonna dump that out? Come on. Why'd you dump it out?
Sometimes we want to make sure, anything that might be, especially after iota 4, we want it as crystal clear as possible.
This is before it gets any of the carbonation in it, right?
There is a little bit of carbonation.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's inherent, probably about 1 CO2 volume, but Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I do like, that's creamy right there. I like that. That's a creamy one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
We're gonna be here throughout the morning. One more hit, uno mas. We got one more. We're gonna be here at Roar Box. Guys, the St. Patty's Day Irish Ale available at Wegmans, Tops, you name it. That's also another heavy hitter right there. I'm gonna send it back to you guys in studio. That's coming back to you guys, by the way. You say I don't bring you anything, I'm bringing you guys back the keg.
He's been slurring since his second.
Yeah, how many? Okay, we have to wrap.
We gotta wrap it up.
Sorry, Chris.
Stick around. When we come back, we're going to be getting a look at those warm temperatures on the way with meteorologist Mark McQuaid.
We're back on the other side of the break. Welcome back. Meteorologist Mark McLean is here. Mark, we haven't been outside in hours, but is it as beautiful as it looks out there?
It's nice. It's a nice start. At the bus stop this morning with the kiddos, it was already in the 40s, which for this time of the year is pretty much where we would normally.
Your kids really take the bus?
Yeah, it depends. Depends on the day.
It's a limo, isn't it?
No, it's not a limo.
It's a limo that picks the McLean
big cheese
kids
wagon,
up.
It comes to the end of the driveway. And now Kim every other day takes Alex in because he's at the high school, the bowling thing, and they're off to the state champs here on Friday.
Woo!
That's impressive.
Could be fun. We'll see.
Spencerport.
Yeah, Spencerport. Yeah, it'll be good. But talking about the temps out there, this month has been warmer than normal, and it's been a month that has been just swinging back and forth. When you look at numbers and you look at a bar chart, look at the start of the month. It was cold for the first 3 days, and then we bounced back and had a little cool down there. But if you averaged it all together, it's about 3 degrees above the norm. And talking about the big swings, I think this week is going to look a lot like last week. Where we had temps near 60 midweek, and then we fell back for Friday. It's not going to line up calendar-wise the same days, but we're going to have a temperature profile that has something similar. So if you're wondering where it comes from a cold front that's just to our northwest. This is going to swing through this afternoon, and when that front draws through, that's where that colder air comes from. So just to give you that rough timing, we'll drop that front through by 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, and that temperature should slide back through the 50s, eventually into the 40s, 30s, and at some point tonight, we'll end up back into the 20s. But March Madness, the high tomorrow after seeing temps in the 60s today will be at the 30s. It's kind of wardrobe warfare out there. Thursdays at 45, Friday, Saturday in the mid 60s. So looking good for the parade, and we'll talk more about that forecast coming up. But a touch of spring fever into the weekend. We're going to see these temperatures average out above normal through that stretch, which is good news for you and your heat bill, right? 61 degrees at noon. It's going to be a windy day. Wind always means change in weather, so we'll get gusts over 30 this afternoon. And again, that 7-day forecast stays mainly dry for us. Small chance of a sprinkle or two on Saturday, no big deal there. If any day is a washout on the 7-day, it's going to be Sunday with temps in the low 60s. And you see early next week, we start to fall back into the mid 40s, so kind of bouncing around and swinging around. So coming up, this is the anniversary of a storm back in 1992 that dropped a whole bunch of snow around here. Also, the St. Patrick's Day outlook. We're going to have a fun little look ahead to the St. Patty's Day.
All right.
Yep.
Question for you.
Yeah.
At what point this afternoon or early this evening are we going to start to see those temperatures start? When I want to know when to close the windows.
Yeah, right. So the clouds will increase. So that's always the giveaway. The wind kicks up, the clouds increase, and when you see that happen, that's when the temperature is going to start to dip back down. So we'll go from the 60s likely back into the 50s, 40s by evening. So it'll be a pretty good drop. The unusual part is usually there's rain or snow with the cold front. The air is so dry today that we're not even going to see that change.
Listen, and I think we are all okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Tamps down the muddy paws.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, very true. Saturday, windy?
Yeah, it'll be windy.
Windy, okay.
The wind out of the south, though, so it'll be a warm wind.
Okay.
It's not going to be the kind that bites when we're out in the parade, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking. Like, do I need a hat? I might need a hat.
Yeah.
There is that chance, though, that we could see some precipitation on Saturday.
It's possible. A few showers there as the next system slides by to our northwest. We'll see that small chance there, but it's not a washout. If I had to, pick a day this weekend that was a washout, Sunday looks like it's going to be soggy.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Sunday's going to be a good day to recover inside from the St. Patrick's Day festivities on Saturday.
If you need recovery.
If you do. A lot of people are going to be running in the race.
Yeah.
Good day to stay in.
Rehydrate yourself.
Stretch.
Maybe get one of those electrolyte IVs the next day delivered directly to your house.
Hey,
Do they have home delivery for that kind of thing?
They do.
Oh, okay.
They do. I'm sure there's a Rochester-based company that might want our addresses.
4225 West Henrietta Road.
I'm not coming here for that. No, they got to come to me.
Stay inside.
For that.
Sunday's going to be that day too, that first day in spring where the worms are out. Probably that real soaking rain. And you go to the driveway, the sidewalk, and they're kind of all over the place.
And
that would be my guess.
9 days.
9 days.
Until the official start.
How about
of spring.
that?
What do we have? Do you have something planned for that day for us?
Well, we can do the annual equinox party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't get the invite last year?
No, I attended last year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was the first one on the dance floor to that thing.
That's right. You were cutting the rug.
What are you? That's so nice.
Wait until you see this St. Patrick's Day guy I got in this graphic.
Oh, okay. I can't wait.
He's cutting the rug.
I can't wait. Hey, stick around. We've got much more to get to here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. 8:34. Thanks for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. Dan, what are we doing?
We're going to start this half hour by taking a look at some of the stories that have people talking and trending. Now, water cooler talk, people.
Ooh, there we go. All right, we're going to start out with a bit of a question. When you were a kid or a teenager, what was the hot trend in your school that made you feel really cool? Maybe it was mood rings, hacky sacks, rubber bracelets.
Pogs.
What is a pog?
Come on, get with it. You're not old enough. Well, now, according to, it was a game.
Okay.
They were little pieces of cardboard with printed image. It was a game. According to the internet, the ultimate symbol of being cool is owning Touchland hand sanitizer.
I knew about this.
What?
I did. Yeah. Okay. So they're $10 hand sanitizers. They're only 1 ounce and they're multicolored. They come in right here, rectangular glass bottles. They fit right in the palm of your hand.
What?
Yeah, $10 for that itty bitty thing.
Why? They come in a variety of different scents, including apple, berry, sandalwood, citrus, and lavender. And they've become so popular among teens that many have shared that they were bullied for not having them. What is wrong?
It's so good that you and I don't have children.
I can't.
No, yeah. Many on social media is saying it's kind of reminiscent of kids being bullied in school for not having like Stanley branded tumblers and water bottles. I'm trying to think
Which
of.
also was ridiculous.
Oh, I remember one for me.
What's that?
Ugg boots.
Ugh.
I did not have them.
Ugh.
I had bear paw, and it was quite the scandal.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, producer Ashley says knee-high Converse. That was really big when she was in school.
I was so jealous of all those girls that got them. I was never able to.
Oh my gosh.
You all right?
You can hear her voice cracking back there.
She needs to take a break.
I feel like we should go on eBay collectively. We could start a GoFundMe to get Ashley those knee-high Converse.
Hey, send us some money so we can support Ashley.
Yeah, right? Part of the appeal for this stuff is the minimalist aesthetic that looks more like a gadget than a typical hand sanitizer. I can't.
It's also a mist. It's not a gel, so it can't spill in your backpack or whatever, which is apparently a very big deal.
It still can. It's liquid in a glass bottle. The craze has gotten so out of control in some schools that it's even led teachers to limit use during class. Well, yeah, because you don't want the smell of berry, sandalwood, ocean breeze, lavender, mint, all at the same time, because that's disgusting.
Okay, so I appreciate that they're being clean. I do, because if there's one thing I hate in this world, it's germs and it's being gross.
But they're not being clean for that reason.
I know, but it's still the act of doing it. I mean...
Okay.
Would I prefer everybody wash their hands every 10 minutes? Certainly so. Mm-hmm. Would I love to do that? Also, certainly so. But with that, it's a lot of scents, it's a lot of smells. I feel like it'd get a little sticky after a while. Mm-hmm. Also, when I was in school, Bath and Body Works was like super big. Everybody had the little keychains on their backpacks.
Oh, yeah?
And they were the plastic ones. You could...
hand sanitizer?
It wasn't a spray, it was the squeeze bottle.
Okay.
I also didn't have one of those.
Hand sanitizer wasn't like a big thing when I was in high school. You just washed your hands. My thought, it hadn't been invented at that point. Yep. My thought is, okay, if I'm a teacher and all of my students have these and, it's a big thing, guess what? I am putting out a vat of the cheapo stuff and saying that's all you're using while you're in my class.
The Fruit Loops melon.
Yep, the
DIY.
stuff made by the state. That's what you get in my class.
I gave you hand sanitizer the other day. It was one of the little spray ones.
That smelled nice.
It smelled nice,
that
right?
Smelled nice,
yeah, I got that.
But it wasn't this. It wasn't $10.
No, it wasn't. It was at Target. It was in the bargain bin.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That's ridiculous. Yep. I'm sorry. That company that charging $10, get a grip. Speaking of things that have changed since we were younger, McDonald's play places. One X account posted a tweet showing the state of play places in new McDonald's.
Uh-oh. Hey, this is really sad.
That looks like a McDonald's jail.
It does. Yeah, like a punishment.
Yeah. You get your mugshot taken there.
All right, so we got 2 tablets attached to the wall with 2 chairs right in front of them, 2 nice comfy chairs. The user went on to say this was a brand new location that just opened in Tennessee. Some people on social media said it looked sad.
Yeah.
Not so happy meal.
Yeah.
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 What is this? What am I looking at here? Oh, okay, hold on. The user then said she returned to the location and saw another children's activity added, but says it was still very sad.
Wow, when it comes to the classic McDonald's play places, they were eventually shut down due to a litany of controversies and lawsuits, including injuries, second degree burn?
Yeah.
How? How did you get a second degree burn there?
The slides are cooking in the sun.
The slides in shorts? What? There are a few places, play place locations left, but they are few and far between. The one thing that I'm okay with being gone is the ball pit. Because we all know
So gross.
nothing good happened in there. And those balls, they were never cleaned.
Stop it. It's so gross. I have like chills.
I know,
about it.
but this is not a play place. And McDonald's, we know you watch the show. Ronald, you're a regular viewer.
Better than this, Ronald.
Yeah. What? McDonald's is supposed to be about play. It's not supposed to be about tablets.
I thought it was about food, but...
Well, it is. But a play place is about play, not about sitting there in front of an iPad that's attached to the wall. No, that's not what we want. What kind of people do we want to raise? Ones that do this? Come on. Come on.
I feel like we need like a segment, parenting.
Tuesday is winning.
Listen, I'll be honest. Today has not been kind to you and I.
No. Stick around. So much more to come here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back. We are once again checking in with, you know what? This would make us feel better if Chris Lopez just brought us back a couple of drinks.
Hey, there we go.
From Rohrbach.
Let's see if he does. Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. Stream us live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. We're back after this. We've got a week to go until St. Patrick's Day, and Rohrbach Brewing Company has brewed up something special for the big occasion.
Keep it down over there, McLean. Chris Lopez is getting in the Irish spirit and wanted to check out how they made that beer, and he is there for us. Ooh, what's that background, Chris? What are you in front of?
We're in the can room, guys. Over 500,000 cans in this gigantic warehouse, and that's what we're going to be cruising and bruising around. Got the keg with me. The St. Paddy's Day Irish Ale has to be a part of the morning show. I'm bringing it back for you guys. You said I'd never bring you back stuff, so I'm bringing you back an entire keg. That'll be $160, guys. That should fit in our budget, right? We'll get to that at another time. I'm here with Mitch this morning, talking a little bit about the canning process. You're carrying the Irish Ale. That's sold Wegmans, Tops, other heavy hitters there. Go get that. When do you know when that's going to be taken off the shelves?
I mean, we usually sell through the end of March.
Okay.
Obviously, this is the biggest weekend and build up for St. Patrick's Day and whatnot. But this honestly sells, regardless of the name, sells well for the entire season.
It's just going to be gone?
Yeah.
Okay. And this room, so cool. 1800s, this room changed into, this used to be Black Button Distilling, right?
Part of it, yeah. So Black Button actually occupied about a third of the building once upon a time. They moved out recently, and we took over the rest of the space. So now we're looking at about 24,000 square feet between the two floors. We occupy the entire parking lot. It's honestly, it's been since 2009. We've pretty much turned this into our hub. Obviously, we have the brew pub on Buffalo Road, but 97 Railroad Street has become Rohrbach's.
And you guys are the original craft brewery here in Rochester, opened in 91. You started working about 10 years ago, working here. How has the business changed?
Business has changed drastically. Obviously, COVID had an impact on the entire industry, not just us. But as far as craft beer, there was a fairly large boom back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now it's obviously it's some of it has consolidated, but some of it has expanded. How many breweries? I think there's over 500 plus in New York.
So many breweries now.
So, and even locally, right here in Monroe County, we must have at least 30 alone. And that's great. I mean, honestly, that helps build the business, helps build interest. It creates a destination. We are very excited, honestly. We're celebrating 35 years next year, and we honestly can't wait because we have all these collaborations set up. We have all these events set up, so it's going to be a great couple years here.
St. Patrick's Day, on the day you guys have a party going on. Is it 5 to 9?
Correct. Yes. So we're going to basically open up the beer hall. It's a ticketed thing, but as far as what you get, obviously you get beer, you get pint glasses, you get camaraderie, you get food. We like to make sure that we support local, that we actually, get people in the door and experience what we have to offer. And honestly, there's no better time than St. Patrick's Day.
I'm going to send it back to studio on this note. Can I have one of those beers? And all right, Dan, I'm sorry, but so to pay for this keg, I grabbed your debit card off the desk. It's a $30 deposit for this. It's $160, but look at how much you get right there, man.
Chris.
This is good stuff. It's pretty, yeah.
I make money. Go ahead, buy it. Get two.
I make money?
Go, Chris.
It's ridiculous.
This is good stuff, Dan. You guys are going to enjoy all of this right here. How many gallons, how many pints is this in this bad boy?
About 140 of these guys.
140 of these guys right here. I got you a wholesale price. I'm going to send it back to you in studio on that note.
I want to see Chris shotgun one. That's
Yes, shotgun it, Chris. Shotgun it.
Don't be a baby. All right. We gotta go. Ashley's getting mad.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Ashley. Stick around when we come back. It's this week's edition of Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, we're back after this.
It is time for this week's edition of Crime Stoppers, and this morning we're discussing Monroe County's Stolen Vehicle Task Force and what they do.
Yeah, for more, we're joined now by investigator James Coco from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Let's talk about it. The Stolen Vehicle Task Force seems like it's kind of self-explanatory, but tell us about it.
Sure. So we put a task force together with us, RPD, the troopers, and a couple of town agencies. And what we did is we really got after the stolen vehicle problem that's been going on. That's with uniformed as well as undercover deputies, troopers, officers, to really get eyes on what's going on. And we would get eyes on a stolen vehicle and try to make an apprehension. We've had a lot of success with it.
What was the driving factor that led the MCSO to say, you know what, this is an issue that we need to be addressing with this task force?
I think the community who, made a point, hey, this has been going on, often lots of stolen cars, just a lot of upset victims who repeat victims, and just the violence that came with it. A lot of, cars on sidewalks and the violence that came with it.
We know that there are a lot of Kias and Hyundais stolen, but is it pretty much any kind of car that's being stolen?
Those are the majority, and those have their own ways of being stolen. Mm-hmm. But obviously, we still have the traditional keys left in the ignition at a gas station, or just with the keys left.
Yeah, or people starting their car before work to warm it up, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's not just the fact that the vehicles are stolen and used. It's the fact that a lot of these vehicles are stolen and then used in another crime.
Yes, sir.
So expand on that for us. What kind of crime do we see these vehicles used in?
Burglaries, robberies, sometimes homicides. A lot of times we'll find out that car was being looked at for something else. It's been on surveillance or observed by a witness involved in other stuff. So obviously, once we get that car, there's a lot more investigative work that can go into it to help solve some of those crimes.
And so what do you look for when you get the car into law enforcement custody? Do you assess the damage? Do you do fingerprints? Like what kind of goes into that once you have it in your possession?
Specifically with the car, a lot of tech work, photographs, fingerprints, going through the contents of the vehicle. We found mail with people's names on it and, things like that. A lot of obvious, a lot of not obvious.
I would imagine there are several circumstances where people wake up and have no idea what took place overnight in front of their property. They go to get in their car or start their car for work, and it's no longer there. Is that an issue you still see?
It has been, and obviously with the weather getting warmer, something we expect to see become a bigger problem.
And so you're with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. This is not just happening in the city of Rochester. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time, I think people say, oh, well, I live in the suburbs. I don't really have to worry about locking my car or keeping the keys in the overhead visor, but that's not the case at all.
No, we've had a lot of problems on the east side of the county, as well as Henrietta in the southern parts. Crime is everywhere. It's all over, and we work with our partners.
For someone sitting at home who says, okay, this is good information to know there is this task force, but what can I do to mitigate the chances that I am victimized? What is the advice you give?
Be aware of your surroundings. Be conscious of where your keys are. And those are the biggest things. And then obviously, help us help yourself.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll put all of this Crime Stoppers information over on foxrochester.com.
8:55 this morning. Stick around. A lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester, including into the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we're back after this.
Tuesday morning. I'm Stephanie Joseph. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's your ARC Rochester news break. Happening today, 7 suspects charged in the torture and murder of Sam Nordquist are due back in Ontario County Court. The 7 face multiple charges, including first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. Prosecutors say Nordquist, a transgender man from Minnesota, was brutally beaten, starved, and sexually assaulted for weeks before his body was dumped in a field in Yates County. 13 Wham will be in court this afternoon and have the latest on 13wham.com. After 3 weeks on strike, New York's Department of Corrections now says the illegal corrections officers' strike is over. State officials say 10,000 security staff are now back at work or available to return. Letters of termination were sent to more than 2,000 workers who remained on strike yesterday. And also new this morning, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office says 3 suspects are in custody after a report of a burglary overnight in East Rochester. This was at the Van Bortle Ford on Marsh Road. The Sheriff's Office says there is no threat to the public. For all of these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Stick around, ARC Rochester is back right after this.
No, it took you so many takes. You could not keep a straight face when we shot that open to save your life.
You were being so silly.
I was not. I was doing exactly as I was told.
We never laugh. We never laugh.
Well, okay, so the story behind that opening montage for ARC Rochester is we had no idea what we were doing, so we just went and they were like, I don't know, mess around, have some fun.
Yeah.
I can't help but laugh every time I see you pointing at everything. You're like, look at the waterfall.
Yeah,
look at the shirt. Like, it just...
Trying to explain everything.
I was told to point to the waterfall. Point to the waterfall and give a little look over your shoulder. I was told to hold up that shirt and...
Ooh, it'd be a nice lunch. That would be a nice spot for lunch today.
Oh, you're right.
I think so.
It would.
Except I'll be on
You're on the
13
noon.
Wham News midday.
Yeah. Hey, it's 9:03 this morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us. You know who we are. Mark is here.
Yeah.
We're talking about that forecast.
Yeah.
The wild forecast we're experiencing, but we've experienced some wild forecasts in the past this time.
Yeah, we'll do a little compare and contrast. We'll take a look at a little weather trivia here too, and let's start with that piece of it. And I'll ask everyone a question.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to keep with this warm weather theme. So warmer than normal weather continues in Western New York today. So in that theme, what is Rochester's warmest temperature ever recorded? And you've got some selections. Is it 99 degrees, 102 degrees, 96 degrees, or 105 degrees? What do you say?
Ever recorded in history?
So this would in our weather records, of course, and they go back to the early 1870s.
I'm going to go with 105.
105?
See,
Okay.
I'm going to go 102. I'm going to say we never made it to 105.
Okay. In our lifetime, we have never been in the 100s. If lived here for your whole lifetime, but 102.
Whoa! I am 2 for 2.
We're going to
row.
keep tabs of this. That's what we'll do. Well,
Listen, this is the only game I've ever won.
So that was back in July 9th and 10th in 1936.
Both days?
Yeah, so 2 days in a row. And can you imagine something like that without air conditioning? Yeah, 51 doesn't sound so bad in comparison. But this is way above normal for this time of the year. Some temps back to the west. Look at Medina at 56. So that's already 15 degrees above normal for this time of the year. And you compare and contrast that to where we were back in 1992. On this date, we had the 4th greatest snow in the history of March. March 11th, 1992, we had nearly 1.5 feet of snow on this date. So, you get the extremes this time of the year. Now, we're going the opposite direction, unfortunately, later this afternoon. That cold front back to the northwest is going to take that temperature back down. So we go from the 60s back to the 30s. We'll make our way back to the 60s, believe it or not, by Friday of this week. So our temps, there they are. Nothing says Western New York more than this graphic right here.
Isn't that the truth?
62.
Turning windy and colder this afternoon.
Yeah. And that's where we are today.
The 20s tomorrow morning.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's fine. We'll get over it because in 48 hours we'll be back in the 60s.
Yeah. I think
It's just the swing.
nobody has put their winter jackets away yet.
Yeah.
They're still out.
The
They're
boots
gonna
are
be on
still
for a
there,
while.
and inevitably, we're going to see snow again. I mean, we've had 85 inches this winter, which is the most that we've had in several winters.
When?
It's all spread out.
When are we going to see snow again?
Oh, in the forecast, nothing accumulating on that 7-day, but typically we would see our last snowfall into the first week of April. So, yeah.
It's not. It's
defeating.
Well, it is. It is. It's very deflating, especially when we're teased with these temperatures.
I know.
But that's not a for sure thing,
It's
right?
not. It's not. But you saw the range there. I mean, you could go back to 1992, and we're digging out from 18 inches of snow, or you could have temperatures in the 70s on this date. Some of the records would be into the 70s. So.
Now, listen. I also think to myself, okay, like we're going into these temps, but the poor people over at Bristol and the people who like to put their skis on, they have got to be, going a little nuts with these temps.
Yeah, looking for one last chance. That snow hangs on for quite a while on those ski slopes.
It does,
Yeah.
but I feel like they got off to a late start this year.
Yeah, it was a
because
slow
there wasn't
start.
any substantial snowfall, and all they could do was make some artificial stuff late in the game.
Yeah, and we had that one core of winter where, 50 plus straight days, we actually had an inch of snow on the ground. So from January into the end part of February, even early March, I think we still had some snow down. So that was good.
So if you're dealing with a broken bone and couldn't make it out at that point in time.
Who?
You're on luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You can send all your letters. 4225 West Henrietta Road. Mark McLean will read them.
Send your flower pictures too. We gotta start looking forward to those.
All right, let's talk about next weekend.
Yeah.
Now, because it's a big one.
It is.
It's St. Patrick's.
Hang on. I got to load one weather graphic. I'll be.
Take your time. Go back.
Tell
Go
producer
for it.
Ashley.
Go for it.
Tell producer Ashley to
you
give us.
see he's run off.
I knew he was missing something.
Yeah.
I knew it.
She said it.
Using it too much.
Ashley said in my ear, she's like, "Where's the St. Patrick's Day graphic?"
Here it is, and here's the guy.
We're ready.
Oh
Here he is.
man, He's got some moves.
This is a look. This is a look at Dan Schrack at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, after the parade's finished. This is Dan's.
He's like doing a crazy version of the Charleston there.
Now watch. He's gonna start sliding left and right. Watch. Here he goes. Woo! There he goes. Little back.
I kind of like it.
Can we, Ashley, if you can roll on this, I'll take it home. I'll do a little practice. I'll spot this out and.
You don't see it in the prompter?
No, yeah.
Okay, then get up and do it.
Well, no, I'm not going to do it cold. I would like. Let me take. Let me take it side by side. Let me take it home and put the Dan Schrack pizzazz on it.
I think we're going to see some people doing this on Saturday.
Chicken, please. Please. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of people out there.
Temps in the 60s. It's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. You have to get out and enjoy it.
They're going to have something in their hand while they do that.
Maybe.
Though. Yeah.
Sunglasses.
Yes, that's what's driving them to do it. The sunglasses that they're carrying around in a brown paper bag.
Who does that anymore? Jeez.
I don't know. Not you.
I think Chris could help us out with our start to the parade on Saturday.
Yeah.
He came back with.
Listen, if he does show up rolling a keg through the parking lot, we need to get that security video pulled. Because that would be incredible video to have.
It would.
We could use that in all of our promos.
Yep.
Him kicking that keg.
Here at 13 Wham, we have fun. We know how to party.
We do.
Absolutely.
It's coffee, I promise.
Yeah, for now. Wait until the noon. Stick around. A lot more to come right here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, we're getting a look at McQuaid's upcoming musical coming to a stage starting tomorrow.
And don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. Stream us live right now on the 13 Wham U channel. We're back after the break.
(9:12) this Tuesday morning. Thanks for sticking with us here on Arc Rochester. Right now, we are taking you behind the curtain this morning as we continue to highlight some high school musicals.
Yeah, today we are headed to McQuaid, where they're getting ready to take on a show about fame, greed, and all that jazz.
For more on their upcoming... Did you like those dance moves?
I did. Those were good.
Those were
Nice
impromptu,
job.
too.
Yeah.
For more on the upcoming production of Chicago, the teen version, we are joined now by two of the cast members. We have Nate Lynch and Javier Arroyo. Thank you both so much for waking up bright and early and coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell us, gentlemen, what year are both of you and who do we play in Chicago?
So I'm a junior and I play Billy Flynn. I'm a sophomore and I play Amos Hart.
Okay, so Billy Flynn is the lawyer, and Amos Hart is married to Roxy Hart, correct?
Yes.
See how much I already know?
Good job.
So we were talking about this a little bit during the commercial break. For somebody sitting at home who says, okay, I've heard of Chicago, but I've never heard of Chicago Teen Edition. What's the difference?
Honestly, it's a little cleaner. There's less swear words, but you don't really miss too much of the content, too much of the songs. So I think it's just a little more family friendly.
Yeah. And for somebody who's never seen Chicago, can one of you give us a little overview? I mean, it's a classic, but, you know, there's still maybe people who are thinking, I've heard of it, I've never seen it.
Yeah, so there's this woman, Roxy Hart, who cheats on her husband, and she has to hire a lawyer because she kills the guy she cheats with. And that lawyer, he does a really good job manipulating people to get money, because that's all he cares about. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of song and dance in this about murder, correct?
Yes.
What is it like putting these numbers on the stage? Because it's a dance-heavy show, is it not?
It is, yeah.
So what is that like? What's that rehearsal process like?
A lot of dance rehearsals, a lot of drilling those dances over and over, and just putting a lot of energy into it. Yeah.
And are you guys having a good time, or is it a little stressful for the both of you?
I would think it's a combination of both.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a little, opening night's always a little nerve-wracking, but overall I'm having a great time.
What do you do to prepare for these roles that are quite a bit larger than you? I mean, I imagine neither of you have been married yet, and neither of you are lawyers. So how do you get yourself into that headspace, or as close as you can?
Yeah, so I mean, these are obviously very classic roles. I think it's, you know, knowing a little bit about, like, being a lawyer and just, like, putting myself into the character.
Yeah. And Javier, how about you?
Well, I also watched a couple renditions of my character, and I kind of just watched what they were doing and kind of just created the character.
Yeah. And are you guys having a good time making your own versions of the characters, putting your own spin on it, your own attitude?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Talk to us about the rest of the cast. We're taking a look at some of the images of what I imagine is part of the rehearsal process there on your screen. How big is this cast, and who is in this show with you?
I think it's about a cast of 20 to 30 people, and it's a really good community. So we're like a family.
Very good. And opening night is tomorrow. Yes? Very good. And what are we going to do to kind of get rid of some of those butterflies, pre-show jitters?
You know, for me, they don't really go away. Just sort of push through them. Once you're on stage, it's not too bad.
Very good. And how about
And for you?
I do about the same exact thing, just push through them.
Yeah, try and channel that energy into something else for the stage.
For sure, yeah.
Very nice. For somebody sitting at home who says, okay, I have to go and see this show. I need to see what the Chicago Teen Edition is all about. How do they get tickets?
Tickets, you can get them on the McQuaid website or at the door. So you can just show up.
Excellent. And 7 o'clock is the show every day?
Every day, March 12th through 15th.
Yeah. Very good.
Now, we're jumping the gun here a little bit. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, you don't. Tech rehearsal. I imagine we're done with that, or do we have one more tonight?
One more tonight.
One more tonight. Okay, how do we see that going?
I think it's going to be a great run. Yeah.
Very good. And we're told that you guys are going to do a scene for us. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Very good.
Terrific. We're going to get out of the way. We're going to let the two of you take over. Gentlemen, have at it.
All right. Well, hello, Andy.
Amos. My name is Amos.
Right. Did you bring the rest of the $5,000?
Well, here's $500 off my insurance and $300 I borrowed from the guys down at the garage and $700 from the building and loan fund.
That's $2,000.
That's all I've got so far.
What about her father?
I phoned him yesterday and he told me he'll probably be able to raise some money later.
You're a liar. I spoke to her father myself. You know what he told me? That her daughter went to hell 10 years ago and she could stay there forever before he'd pay a cent to get her out.
I'll give you $20 a week on my salary. I'll give you notes with interest double, triple, till every cent is paid.
You know, that's touching. But I've got a motto, and that motto is play square. Dead square. Now, when you came to me yesterday, I didn't ask you, was she guilty? I didn't ask you, was she innocent? No foolish questions like that, now did I? No, all I said was, have you got the $5,000? And you said, yes, but you haven't got the $5,000, so I figure you're a dirty liar.
I'm sorry, Mr. Flynn.
But I took her case, and I'll keep it, because I play square. Now, here's what we're gonna do. By tomorrow morning, I'll have her name on every front page as the hottest little jazz slayer since Velma Kelly. Then we announce we're gonna hold an auction to raise money for her defense. They'll buy anything she's ever touched. Shoes, dresses, underwear. Plus, we tell him that if by due process of law she gets hanged...
Hanged?
The stuff triples in value. I'll give you 20% of everything we make over $5,000. And that's what I call playing square.
I don't know, Mr. Flynn.
Awesome job, fellas. Very, very good.
Thank you.
You can tell that it takes a lot of rehearsal. How do you memorize all the lines?
Reading it over and over till you get it. That's what I do.
During the rehearsal process, are you going back and forth? Your line, your line, your line, your line?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You do a lot of work together?
Yeah, like off stage, yeah.
Very good.
Incredible. All right, one more time for somebody sitting at home. They want to go see Chicago Teen Edition. When, where, and how do they get tickets?
Okay, March 12th through the 15th, 7 p.m. every single night. Get tickets at the door or on the McQuaid website.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Gentlemen, thank you both for being here. We appreciate it. We'll put ticket information for you at home over on foxrochester.com.
9:20 this morning. Stick around. We have got a lot more to get to right here on Arc Rochester. We are taking a look back into the archive.
Yeah, we're back after this. Welcome back. All right, we're going to head into the archives because today marks 5 years since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic.
Yeah, this, of course, led to worldwide lockdowns, social distancing, isolations, and really a change in the day-to-day as we knew it.
Yeah, we're going to take some time this morning to talk about some experiences during the early days of the pandemic. We've got Steph and we've got Mark joining us to talk about some of this. And Steph, you were still in college when this all happened, right? Were you a freshman?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
It was terrible, to put it lightly, because you go from one semester where things look normal and you think that things are going to, continue to grow. You'll join more clubs, meet all these people, and then everything shuts down. I was actually on campus. This was actually in fall 2020. So they stopped us coming to campus in the spring, and we had to have masks on. I had a lab partner who was via Zoom. We also had to wear masks in our college studio and social distance, like everybody, even those on camera, they were wearing masks. But I was actually on campus, that's color guard, when the global pandemic was declared. 2 days later, I was on a plane to Maryland. All my stuff was still in my dorm, and they had to ship it to me.
Wow.
Home.
Wow,
So,
really?
Yeah,
They
my
packed
clothes, my bedding, everything. I only had a small suitcase to bring back because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
At that point, nothing had shut down just yet, but I was scared out of my mind hopping on a plane for the first time because I only took buses to and from Boston at that point. And
So that was your first plane ride, too?
Yeah.
What?
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like a nightmare, Steph.
I was wrapped in a scarf because there was no masking at that point. I didn't know where to get anything, so it was something else.
You couldn't find those masks anywhere, remember?
No.
The N95s? I mean, it was...
And when it first started out, I mean, there were so many different options that people thought worked. I mean, I was working in Burlington at the time, and the really popular thing there at first was the gaiters. Do you remember those? They were like the scarf, you could pull them up, and then people would make them. They'd be like crocheted or knitted, Burlington is like, and then eventually they were like, nope, that doesn't work. So then everybody sewed their own masks, and then they were like, that also doesn't work. And it just evolved over time. And
we still have a basket filled with those somewhere.
Do you?
I know.
We never threw them out. Yeah.
Never know when you might need them.
Right.
I still, listen, I think I am far more attractive in the mask than without the mask.
So it's a fashion thing for you.
It is. It's a fashion statement. I do remember when things were beginning to reopen again. And going to the gym and having to wear those masks at the gym and being on the treadmill thinking, oh my gosh, like this has got to be doing double the this is like double the exercise because you're getting half the oxygen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was
Sweaty, gross mask.
Oh, God, yeah. Those ones went into the garbage after every use because I wasn't putting that thing back on my face.
Yeah.
Those were the days. We also did that there was a short period of time in the very beginning, and I know we had it, and I want to say it was the county executive who published a video of how people could make their own masks.
Yeah.
But again, like you mentioned, there was, after that, when it came out, oh no, the N95s are the ones that you want to be using.
I can't believe it's been 5 years.
It
feels
crazy.
like 20, doesn't it? To
Yeah.
me,
It's a lifetime ago.
It does feel like a totally different life.
A lifetime ago.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And think about how fast it, also went.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like a lot of time has passed, but, we're going to be 10 years post-pandemic before you even know it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The stockpile of toilet paper has returned to normal levels.
Yes, it has. It has.
Yeah.
A lot of prices at the grocery store have never returned to normal levels.
Yes.
I do remember going to the grocery store one night after work before. Oh, do we remember Wegmans' old hours? When some of the stores were 24 hours.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of places that used to have longer hours that don't anymore.
Yeah.
Gas stations. And,
They realized they didn't need to.
Yeah.
I miss that, though. But I went there after work one night and went to the one that's very close to work here. And a lot of the aisles were totally picked over. And then I went into my little vegan section, and it was like untouched, and there's dust on things because nobody shops there but me.
Yeah.
So I was pretty fortunate.
All the canned goods got wiped out.
Yeah.
It was a matter of a
And
week.
do you remember there were limits on a lot of things?
Yep.
Bottled water, canned goods, peanut butter, things of that nature. Two was your max for some of that
Any
stuff.
kind of cleaning product. Remember the wipes, the Clorox wipes? You couldn't find those anywhere.
Then people were making hand sanitizers.
Yeah,
and-
DIY hand sanitizer. Who knows what that stuff had in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm serious.
Yeah. We also did a lot of working from home here.
Yes.
I remember the day that our assignment manager at the time, Brian Hausman, no longer with us here. He's alive and well. He called each of us individually and said, hey, come by the station at such and such a time where we wouldn't be around other people, and collect all your stuff because this will be the last time you're in here for a while.
And for some of us that were in the building, he went around and individually said, this is the plan, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I was home 2 days a week working from, that was a weird experience. The hard part is you have to email, text, or call. We're having conversations right now, which are very fluid and very, easy to get work done. But, it took 10 minutes to do simple tasks because you'd have to text back and forth, you'd have to email back and forth, or you'd have to call. Nobody calls anybody anymore. It's all offline stuff, but it took forever to get stuff done.
We had contact tracing.
Yep.
I was working one weekend Sunday night, got done with the 6 o'clock show, received a call at my desk, which never happens. My phone doesn't ring.
Yeah.
People email.
Yeah.
And it was the county telling me that I had come in close contact with someone who had tested positive.
I remember that night.
And that I needed to go home.
You disappeared.
And so I wasn't too pleased about it, but I followed the rule.
Yep.
I went home and was out of work for a few days, and just bizarre times.
We did not get sent home at all. At any of the,
worked at the
I
station?
worked at several TV stations at the time. Yeah, over the course of 5 years. And at both of them, we were considered essential, and they just spaced us out in the studio, and they put up glass barriers. And then, at the next station, we each had a cubicle.
Yeah.
But there was no go home, work from home, only one time, and that's because I had been exposed to COVID, and I anchored the news from my apartment, and it was only like a day.
I can remember driving to work a day or two after that happened and going all the way from Spencerport to past Gates Chili on the highway on 531, 490.
No
Not
cars.
one car in the other direction.
No
Not
cars.
one car. It was wild.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, we had isolation housing. So if somebody tested positive or if they were a close contact, there was housing specifically for them. And it was almost like people were dropping like flies. And when you're managing a college TV station, you work with a small staff anyway. So I had to do multiple jobs, other people having to do multiple jobs just to get a video online. We were even for a certain time doing videos at home, and they're still on social media somewhere. But it was a time.
Gonna have to dig those ones up.
Yeah.
Probably got you ready for the real workforce. Right?
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the good news is we are past that, and I think we have, as a country, we've learned a lot, and as a newsroom, we've learned a lot. And
Sunshine is nature's disinfectant too today. Go outside and get some.
Soak it up.
Yeah.
Put the shorts on, people. Put the shorts on.
Time right now, 9:31. Much more to get to here on ARC Rochester.
We're back on the other side of the break. 9:34 this Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. We're going to kick off our final half hour this Tuesday by learning more about a special fundraiser that you can take part in all on your lunch break.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's was selected by Rochester Make-A-Wish as the recipient of the March Month of Giving fundraiser. And this morning we're taking a closer look at what it means and how you can help this great cause.
Yeah, this morning we are joined by Dustin Hartman from Jersey Mike's and Donna Oria from Make-A-Wish Metro NY and Western New York. Thank you both so much for waking up bright and early and coming in. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
For having us.
So, Donna, let's first start with you. For somebody sitting at home who says, okay, I've heard the name Make-A-Wish. I know we have local chapters in our area. Remind people of the incredible work you all do.
Absolutely. We are local here to Rochester. We do about 50 wishes a year. All funds we raise stay here locally for the children. We partner with Golisano Children's Hospital, which is our #1 referral source for the kids, but kids can nominate themselves, the families can nominate them, the physician can nominate them for a wish. A wish is deeply impactful. It's not just a trip to Disney. A child can wish for whatever they desire, and we'll make it happen. We have a team of 200 amazing volunteers across Western New York who make wishes happen.
Just in Western New York,
Yes.
200 volunteers.
Yes.
That's incredible.
I imagine it takes a village to make all those wishes come true.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Very good. And so let's talk a little bit about the partnership now between Make-A-Wish and Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our 15th annual as a overall franchise. 15th annual month of giving, day of giving. And so this is coming from way back. Peter Cancro, the founder, he's really made one of his central values of the whole company about giving. He says giving just to make a difference in someone else's life. And so they've, in 2011, made their first day of giving, where 100% of our sales in the store go straight to a local organization. And so last year we raised over $79,000 locally, just in Rochester. And so this year we've got more stores. We've got 9 stores in Rochester, and we're hoping to knock that right out of the park.
That is really incredible. What is it like for you and for your employees to know that they're not just showing up to work today to do a job, to feed people, or to get a paycheck, but they're also taking part in something so much greater than that?
Yeah, well, it's a ton of fun too, because we're able to bring in volunteers. So we always invite neighbors, friends, family, and we're going to have some of the Make-A-Wish kids coming in and joining us in the store. And so, yeah, it's a blast. And so we're getting to do our normal thing, making great food, having great conversation with the customers that come in, and all of it has that deeper value because that day, 100%, every single dollar that we're selling that day is going straight to Make-A-Wish.
And it's got to feel great knowing that you're helping such a great cause. And I want to hear about the smiles on the faces of the kids when they do get a wish.
Oh, I've been to wishes, changed my life. It really is life-changing to see a child receive a wish. A little girl, my first wish was she wanted a backyard play set, and she was visually impaired. So they were able to color it so she could see to use the equipment. And she came down the slide, and I caught her, and she said, "This is the best day of my life." Well, little did I know she had just left the emergency room and would be leaving for St. Jude that afternoon. So to see a child be a kid again in that moment when they're in the middle of a difficult medical journey is just amazing. It truly is. It's life-changing.
Life-changing for them, but I imagine also life-changing for you, the representatives from Make-A-Wish, who are doing a lot of this incredible work. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Dustin, one more time, for somebody sitting at home today or at the office right now, you probably shouldn't be watching TV. The boss might know about it. Where can they go and get lunch?
So any of the local Jersey Mike's stores, there's 9 of them. We've really represented just about every community in Rochester at this point. But they can come in for this whole month. We're allowing a roundup option is at every transaction. And then people can give $1, $3, or $5 donations for this entire month of March leading up to it. And then March 26th, the last Wednesday of the month, 100% of our sales are being donated.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for coming in today and for all the work you're doing for kids in our area. If you'd like to help out with all the information you need to know on foxrochester.com.
9:39, stick around. A lot more to come right here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, we're going to be meeting the band that traveled all the way from Scotland to perform right here in Rochester.
And don't forget, take us on the go where we are. Stream us live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. .942, welcome back. Tonight and tomorrow night, a band from Scotland is making their return to Rochester, bringing Celtic folk music to the stage at Love and Cup.
They certainly are, and this morning we are stoked to have them live in studio ahead of those performances. For more, we're joined now by the band, the Old Blind Dogs. Thank you all so much for waking up bright and early, coming in here. We know morning hours are not particularly conducive to your lifestyle, so we appreciate it.
Of course.
I want to start with, first, what brings you all the way from Scotland to Rochester?
Well, we're currently on tour. The band have been coming out to the US since 1992. Some of us weren't part of that, but yeah, we've been coming out since 92 and touring across the US, usually 2 months a year. So this is the start of a month trip. We'll end up out west by the end of the trip. So yeah, we're pretty much starting out the tour here. So thank goodness for Scottish jet lag. We're wide awake this morning.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Very, very good. You've been to Rochester before, yes?
Many times, yeah.
Very good. And what do you like about the area?
It's just a lovely place. I think the architecture in Rochester is really cool. It's, you know, we come from somewhere with very old buildings, but you've got some beautiful stuff. The Monroe Community Hospital is a really breathtaking looking building and stuff like that. But we just have lots of friends. There's lots of cool places to eat, lots of good culture, and we've always had great support here, so we love coming back.
Now, how long has everyone been with the band?
Well, I've been with the band about 10 years. Aaron, you've been about 20
odd years, yeah. I know I only look about 20, but yeah.
Elias over there, he's been maybe 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years.
And I'm going on 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Brand new.
Yes.
What is it like to join this established organization, this established organism, this living, breathing thing, and immediately going on tour with them?
I mean, it's been a little bit crazy, but this band is a band that I used to listen to growing up back in the early 2000s.
Now I feel old.
You know, my dad had all their CDs growing up, so yeah, it's such an honor to be able to fill in for their fiddle player, Johnny Hardy. So just really happy to be here.
That's incredible. Good for
That
you.
is. And congratulations.
Yeah.
That's got to be such a fun gig to land.
Totally. Yeah, very unexpected. I'm making a career transition from the federal government to playing more music, and
we love that.
Here we are.
Good for you. I have to ask, because you said your dad owned the CDs.
Mhm.
What does he think now that you've joined them?
He was so proud when I told him. Yeah, they're going to join us at the Rhode Island show we're playing next weekend. So very exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh. So tell us a little bit about some of the music that you are playing at the show at Love and Cup.
Well, a lot of the music is based in our tradition. Our tradition is very old, so there's lots of our versions of the older tunes and songs. It's a mixture of melody and song, so there's an opportunity to sing, an opportunity to dance. But we mix it up a little. Donald plays drums and percussion, and we like to have various, to be respectful to the tradition, but try and push it forward a little bit. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's always a fun night in Rochester. People love to get up and dance. People love to sing along with us. So we always look forward to playing in Rochester.
Well, and we're looking at video of you performing, and I mean, it's clear that you're all thoroughly enjoying yourselves. So I have to imagine, are you getting that energy from the audience? Are they kind of feeding you?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Definitely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And we always get a good crowd at the Loving Cup in Rochester, so I believe there's plenty of folk coming, so we'll be doing that again.
Yeah, it's a two-way thing. If we get good response from the crowd, that helps us to play more. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. Rochester's always one that we enjoy, so.
And is it one show only at Love and Cup?
We're there tonight and we're there tomorrow at the same time, 8 p.m. And you can come up and get tickets at the door. There's a few left, not many, but there's a few left. So if folk want to come along, it's tickets at the door only now. We're
wow.
Yeah. So.
Now, I have to point out the fact that someone with one of the loudest instruments here has been the quietest during the interview.
Well,
Why is that?
I have to make up for it, you know? You only get a certain amount of loudness in your life.
Yeah?
I don't think that's the case for
Not
me.
the case for me one bit. Not at all. How long have you been playing?
I've been playing a long time, but these are actually the border pipes rather than the Highland pipes. So what you just saw in the video is the Highland pipes, and what I'll be playing tonight is the Highland pipes. Those are the big ones where the drones go up here. These are a little bit quieter just because we're not all mic'd up in here, and we're just kind of doing this acoustically. So we have the Scottish border pipes, which are just a little bit quieter. Yeah.
It is so cool. We heard a little bit
Yeah.
just in the hallway.
Oh,
And
great.
we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And which do you prefer playing out of the two?
You know, there are different contexts.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All of it's
Very
enjoyable,
good.
Yeah.
right?
He,
As long as
he
you're doing
prefers the
something you
loud
love.
ones. Everybody else prefers the quiet ones. That's the general rule.
Fair. That is fair. Well, listen, if you're sitting at home right now and you want to hear them play, you don't have to go very far. Not only are they at Love and Cup, but they are here, coming up next, right here in the studio on Arc Rochester.
Yeah, we're going to get a little performance after this.
We are back now with more from the band, the Old Blind Dogs. They are getting ready to take the stage tonight and tomorrow at Levin Cup. But before that, they are going to be performing for us live here in studio.
Yeah, thanks so much, you guys. We're really looking forward to it. What are you going to be playing for us?
We're going to play a very old traditional song called McPherson's Rant, and then we're going to go into a couple of tunes that are great for dancing. So you can dance at home, around the kitchen, wherever you are.
Or right here in studio.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Take it away.
Thank you. Farewell, ye dungeons dark and strong. So long farewell to thee. McPherson's time will no be long on yonder gallows tree. It was by a woman's treacherous hand that I was condemned to die. She called me over to the windowsill, and a blanket she threw on me. I say rantonly and say dancingly, say wantonly gaiety. He played a tune and he danced to the rhythm, and I blow the gallows tree. Oh, the ladle plant, I that healing Santa, that first laid hands on me. Who pleads the cause of Peter Brun, let McPherson be. Untie these bands from off my hands, and bring to me my sword. For listen, no, another man in all Scotland that would brave him at his word. I say rantonly and say dantonly, say wantonly gaiety. He played a tune and he danced to the rhythm, and I blow the gallows tree. Come here, I to see hang, and some to buy my fiddle. But before I do part with her, I'll barrack her over the middle. Well, he's ta'en the fiddle into Baker's hands, and he's barracked over us saying there's no another's gonna play on her when I am dead and gay. Say rantonly and say dantonly, say wantonly gaiety. He played a tune, he danced to him, and I blow the gallows tree. Oh, little did my mother think, when first that she cradled me, that I would turn to the roving trade, and I'd die on a gallows tree. Our reprieve was coming out of the Brig of Banff, for to set McPherson free. So they put the clock there 4:15, and they hanged him fatally. I say rantonly and say dantonly, say wantonly gaiety. He played a tune and he danced to the rhythm, and I blow the gallows tree.
Hound Dogs. You can catch them at Love and Cup tonight and tomorrow night. That does it for us here on Arc Rochester. You can join us tomorrow morning starting at 4:57 over on the other channel. What is it?
13 Wham ABC. We'll see you later today for 13 Wham News at midday.
Bye. That was incredible.